8 months ago, I made a video predicting the downfall of MultiVersus, and I was flamed to death in the comments, so I just want to take this moment to say, I told you so. I wasn't being some pessimistic jerkbag, I was just telling you the truth of what was gonna happen from my best perspective. And because I was right, I think it's only fair that I post the video again, so following is my initial commentary. I will also put in some of my favorite comments towards the end. Hello and welcome back to Sanford Days. Today we're discussing one of my favorite fighting games of all time, MultiVersus. Thankfully, this amazing game that uses a bunch of characters from the Warner Brothers properties fully launches on the 28th of this month, and I believe it is totally doomed.
Doomed.
And let me tell you what, it is going to hurt to watch this game die a second time. Now, there's a new hype wave that's coming out about this game, and everybody is losing their mind because, yes, it is a very fun fighting game, one that I'm going to play a crap ton of. If you're paying any attention to the video, just don't. This is more of a listening thing. The video is just something I was editing in my free time. Coming back to the point of the video, if the game is as good as I say it is, as well as having so many iconic characters, why is it destined to fail? I mean, after all, even in my personal life, I've had dozens of people ask me if I want to play MultiVersus when it comes back, and I say, heck yeah, I'm a straight main and I am so happy to be on your team. And while they're repulsed by my player preferences, they will agree with me that Stripe does play like a mad gremlin. In fact, every character in this game plays exactly as you'd expect them to. Superman plays like a big strong man without very much strategy because he doesn't need to, while Batman plays as a tactical genius. Rick and Morty would rather fight you with technology. Tom and Jerry aren't actually even fighting you at all, they're fighting each other and you happen to be in the battleground. Every part of this is a flavor win. I love it so much, and I have been denied my dopamine of crushing you with my gremlin tactics. In that same conversation, we go on to talk about how almost every character is viable. In fact, the balancing is one of the best parts of the game, with the notable exception of Superman, which is just... Please, don't let Superman be as busted as he was before, the super armor was too much. So far in this one-sided discussion, we have very fun, balanced characters that are incredibly iconic. What could go wrong? Oh yeah, on top of that, it's free to play. I won't delay you any longer, let's get into the meat and potatoes. The first and biggest reason why MultiVersus is destined to fail is simply because it is a fighting game. Fighting games are fantastic, I personally love them, especially going toe-to-toe with my friends and showing them that they suck, it's a good time. However, fighting games will make your average person mad, especially if they aren't very good at it, especially if matchmaking is even a thread off. There is no one to really blame in a well-balanced fighting game other than yourself or the enemy character if you believe it's busted. The reason why larger MOBA games such as League of Legends got so popular is because even if you are dog trash at the game, you can still have something to blame. Maybe your jungler was terrible. Perhaps the enemy character just received a buff and it's not good. Perhaps the enemy character is very new and you're not familiar with how to fight it yet. Or maybe you were ambushed by multiple players and you had no chance. But fighting games by definition lack a huge amount of variables that give players excuses in other games, which makes them some of the most frustrating games to play. Now, I do believe that the developers are aware of this issue and that's why they stress the 2v2 format so much. As sad as it sounds, if you get your butt kicked every single game, you're not going to have very much fun after a while too. So, having another partner is someone to blame. I think that excuses really help keep gamer retention. And the second reason why I believe this game has a very high chance of failure is due to the fact that characters are going to get boring over time. Initially, the roster is going to be huge, there's going to be a lot of different matchmaking to go on, but with all fighting games, eventually you will have seen it all. Your average player will get sick of a fighting game quicker than most other games, at least as far as my anecdotal experience has gone. Like when I was in college, my friends and I would play Mortal Kombat and we'd play the crap out of it for like a week or two and then we'd forget about it. And that works perfectly fine for Mortal Kombat's business model. They sell us the game, maybe we'll buy the DLC too, and then they've already made their money, but MultiVersus plans on being a live service game. A live service game needs to constantly bring in new revenue, so if you're sick of MultiVersus, then they're not making any money on you. That gives the game a finite lifespan. If they can't keep your interest, the game is going to fail. So, in my personal opinion, feel free to roast me in the comments anyway if you want, I think MultiVersus will fail 1, because it's a fighting game, and 2, a live service fighting game is unsustainable if you want to continue to make profit. I believe this game is going to have a wonderful launch period, and so many people are going to be addicted for a maximum of 3 months, at which point all the casual players will have left. The game may survive to 6 months, By that point, I believe it will be on life support. In a year, I believe MultiVersus will be dead. But I hope I'm wrong about that, as I am a huge fighting game fan, so I will 100% keep playing as the years go by. And luckily enough, it seems the developers may have a few fail-safes built into this version of MultiVersus to keep things fresh. They've created a PvE mode, which is a fantastic idea to give you something else to do other than 1-on-1 or 2v2 or 1v1v1v1 combat. From what I've seen of the PvE content, it seems very diverse and interesting. While it may not be my favorite thing, I'm sure a lot of people will get a kick out of it. And secondly, they've added a bunch of new characters, which will delay that inevitable point where people get bored of the game. Although personally, I really do hope the characters coming out are a bit more exciting than Shazam, because by time Shazam launched, most people had lost their interest and Shazam certainly was not helping. Subscribe if you think you could beat me in MultiVersus, but as always, this has been Sam for Days. I'm Course, and I get everywhere. Bye-bye now.